All right, hello and good morning, everyone. We are back at it. It is Monday morning, and we need to raise $5 million in this game in order to be able to properly leave on the expedition, which means that we need to start playing a little dirty. Where we're gonna have to take out some friends. We're gonna have to blast away some people who have more than us. We're gonna have to get our hands dirty if we're gonna do this. So we've got a week and a half to raise the millions that we need. So again, we are gonna have to get a little down and dirty on this one. So good morning, happy Monday, happy let's see. Today is a holy day of obligation for the Immaculate Conception, I believe. So happy holy day, which is where we get the word holiday from. If you didn't know that, there's your fun little linguistic learning of the day. Oh, excuse me. Holiday comes from holy day. All right, so we're getting all the money possible, which means that we are just going to be looting as much money as we can, and if we see anyone unaware, we're going to be vultures. You know, if someone isn't paying attention or we get the drop on them, then you know they get the gat. So the kids say. So let's see what we can do. I don't see anyone or anything. I hear things in the background. Ooh, a humidifier. Okay, that's money. That's money in the bank. That is all money. Seeds, that's good money. Looking for blue or above. Blue is good. We'll take the blue. Blue. Empty wine bottle. That's money. I feel like an American picker right now, right? And just grab everything. Oh, that's 32 cents. That's not worth grabbing. Oh, this will be $5. That's worth grabbing. Look like a quick buck off of that. Magnet, worth it. Teeth chain, good morning. How is it going? Happy Monday. Happy Feast of the Immaculate Conception. What is going on this morning? We are just trying to raise the 5 million that you apparently need to get before you go on the expedition to unlock the bonuses. I was way behind. I did not realize they were going to ask for so much money. Who am I? My name is Charlie. I go by Saint Waffles Online. I am a wannabe streamer, writer, game maker. We just have a nice chill vibe where we play games in the morning. I stream at 5 a.m., so it's 5 a.m. my time. We just have a good time to start our day off right before we all scurry off to our jobs. I am known for my absolutely terrible opinions, and well, that's probably about it. Game maker, wannabe game maker. I'm currently in the process of making a Five Nights at Freddy's Dungeons and Dragons hack. So, wannabe, not actually. Tell you something? What do you want to know? I am mostly an open book. A lot of bandages. Okay. We got some good stuff. Let's go over to the hospital and see if we can finish rounding out what we grabbed here and then escape with it. We haven't had to resort to any dirty tactics, so we'll consider that a win here. Oh, this is bad. This is real bad. Okay, we're hurt. We got hit by a missile. Our shield is shattered. Let's see if we can just get out of here before we lose everything. Let's limp to the end. I hear enemies, so we're gonna take this very carefully. Thinking about games, but I'm so tired of playing them. What kind of games do you usually play? Are you just tired of the genre, maybe? Don't shoot.
Hey, don't shoot!
Okay, we're good. We're good. It could be that you're tired of the Monster Hunter Wild. Actually, I have to go back to Monster Hunter Wild. So I played Monster Hunter Wild when it first came out, but the game was so poorly optimized. It was crashing all the time. It was pretty awful, and they're now asking people to come back because they say that they fixed of some of the problems. So I want to go back and give them a try to see how the game is after they have fixed some of the things. So I'm kind of excited to see that.
Let's go home.
Hold our breath. This guy doesn't shoot us. Okay, he didn't shoot us. That is very kind of him to not shoot us. But if you're tired of Monster Hunter, maybe try a different genre, or sometimes you just need to take a break from gaming overall. Yeah, we can chat as much as you like. I'm here until 6:30 a.m. and then I got to go to work. Have no friends. I feel that. I feel like that is a huge problem that we have in a lot of society right now. There are a lot of, especially young men, who don't have friends or meaningful relationships or good role models, and that is contributing to the problems we have in society now. So you are welcome to hang around. You are welcome to chat as much as you like. That is what we are here for. We are here for just good vibes and a good way to start your morning. And if that's how you need to start your morning to make it a good morning, that is what we are here for. Dex is here. Good morning, Dex. Your cut. Your cut is, I will put in a good word for you, God willing, if I make it to heaven. Because I am now $7,000 deeper in debt after getting my plumbing fixed. And I have but no money currently. But I'm writing and playing alone right now. I don't know what I'm doing or what I'm looking for. Well, not to be a shill who shills my own videos, but about a year ago, I made a video specifically about the feelings of like boredom and not knowing what to do in life, and like nothing is fun, games aren't fun anymore, and those struggles. So perhaps that will be a useful thing for you. If you go through my channel, it's got a professionally made this video. I thought was so important, I actually paid for someone to make it a nice thumbnail. So if you look on my channel for why aren't video games fun anymore, I have a short video essay with what I believe is the reason why many people don't feel video games are fun anymore. And maybe that would be a good place to get a little bit of starter material to think about it. Ultimately, I mean, I'll give you a short answer. Spoiler alert right here, I guess. Is I believe that a lot of people are unhappy with video games and get burnt out from them because they don't have any purpose or meaning currently in their lives. A lot of people, you know, they're just going to work, paying their bills, playing video games, and that is what they do day in and day out for 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, and that's no way to live a life. And so my solution for that is to put God into the equation. That in order for, especially men, I can only speak to the male experience, but especially men, in order for men to be happy, you need to work out your brain, you need to work out your body, and you need to work out your spirit. So if we're neglecting any one of those things, it can cause a lot of unhappiness in our life. And I speak to that out of personal experience, someone who was absolutely miserable but finally found a little bit of happiness. But, you know, it's not perfect. Some days I still struggle with depression. It's always going to be a lifelong battle, unfortunately, for me, is going to be depression, anxiety, and those are going to be lifelong crosses for me to bear, but they did get better once I started putting in a lot of effort towards my mind, my body, and my spirit. So that might be a place to consider starting as well if you're looking for something a little bit more to bring happiness or a spark back to your life. Because, you know, I never want people to feel like video games are a waste of time, because they're a beautiful piece of art that we can use to get close to our friends. Some video games can bring us closer to God. There is a lot there, but that does not mean that video games cannot be a waste of time, right? Like, the last few days, for example, I have had to have some work done on my house. I was redoing my entire plumbing, and in order to do that, I needed to be home for the plumbers, just in case, you know, they need access to something, or they needed to go in somewhere, or any multitude of reasons, which means I had to sit in my room for 8 to 10 hours a day while the plumbers did their work, waiting to see if they actually needed me for anything. And I cannot tell you how miserable and bored I was just sitting in my room, because I couldn't go anywhere, I couldn't do anything. So I resorted to playing video games while I waited for them to do their thing. And I got so bored of playing video games for 8 hours a day. I wanted to go out and do some photography. I just wanted to walk. I wanted to work out. I wanted to do something else with my life. So playing video games isn't a waste of time, but it is possible to waste your time playing video games when you're spending too much time on it. Dex, I'm sick and tired of being paid in thoughts and prayers. Well, if you gave me your address, you could be paid in a once yearly bonus of like Legos. Ooh, wait! Someone just threw a grenade at that guy, and he's still angry at me. Why are you focused on me, big dog? There are much bigger fish to fry. Oh, he's still mad. Oh, he's still mad. Let's go this way. I don't know what makes me happy. I have like a big bike, a car, house, but I'm bored with my life. I have video games, so I still don't know what makes you happy. Think you're gonna buy a set today? What are you gonna buy today? Is that what set, Dex? I mean, that's a classic thing, Teeth, right? That's something that every TV show will try and tell you, and that's that stuff can't make us happy. That we're always gonna feel like something is missing if we don't have God in our life. It sounds cheesy and cliche, but there's a reason why everyone says it, because you can't be happy with stuff. The Futurama bricks, that one. Go outside is the only option. Travel, but scary. Yeah, I definitely understand traveling can be scary, especially well, if you're in the United States, at least with the current climate we are in. You never know where you end up. It might be not the best side of town, but well, that didn't work. Put the crate in there properly. Thank you. The Luma bricks. Alright, let's get out of here. Let's go load our junk up and off we go. Excuse me. Also, volunteer work. You know, tis the season. If you're feeling like lacking and nothing is bringing you joy, like, have you considered doing some work for the Salvation Army or like the soup kitchens, or like there's an organization near me that this looks too good to be true. I'm going to get shot in the back of the head, aren't I? I can't believe that worked. There's an organization near me that does, they call themselves the Soup Squad, and they ask for people to make between 20 and 50 servings of food, and you bring these huge servings of food, and then they distribute them to all the hungry and poor and needy in the area. That's a wonderful cause where we have like free fridges where you can clean them and put food in there for people who need to be able to walk by and just like grab a meal. So perhaps you can lose yourself in some meaningful work such as that. Video games are not the only option. Definitely not. There's plenty of other options. You could write, journal. You could make art, whether that's drawing, painting, creating in some way, shape, or form. You could vlog, make videos. You can learn an instrument. There's literally an infinite amount of options for you to do outside of video games. One of my favorite things to do as a kid, I haven't done this much as an adult, but one of my favorite things to do as a kid is just wander around, look around outside, and get lost in a fantasy world in your own imagination, imagining how, oh, that building could be a castle for this, or that could be a field for where they hold the games, or these sort of things. You know, that there is a million options out there that aren't video games for filling our time. And again, especially during this season right now with Christmas coming up, there's a lot of people in need of people to volunteer. Repair fairs. If you're handy with your hands, one of the coolest things that they started doing are repair fairs, where people can bring their broken stuff and people will try and fix it for free, so that we're recycling things rather than giving into consumerism. I think that's an absolutely cool thing. Motorcycle vlog, that is a great idea. But there you go. Gives you an excuse to ride, gives you an excuse to go see new things, take some pictures, do some things, motorcycle vlog. Great. Get lost in that. Right now, my new focuses are on Viewmasters, finding old-timey reels for Viewmasters for photography. And, you know, I cringe to admit this one. And I hate to say it, but I'm kind of sort of thinking I might get into Beyblades. I don't know where it came from, but I've been kind of watching some people ripping Beyblades at each other, and it kind of looks fun, and I kind of want to get a Beyblade and go do that. So, you know, tops. I can't wait to be a Beyblade master. According to the anime, Moses used a Beyblade, so you know I can fit it in with religion too. Much better than that pagan Yugi and his Heart of the Cards, you know? Merry Christmas. It is It is currently the Advent season, but we are going to be in the Christmas season very, very, very soon. 2 more weeks of Advent. And you know, I know I've been preaching God a lot, but maybe this is also a chance to explore that. Advent is a time where we prepare for Christ to come into our hearts, and we ask ourselves, are we ready for the coming of God? Have we prepared our house? Have we done what we should do with our life? And it's a time to ask those hard questions. And I think seasonal depression is definitely a real thing, where we look at a lack of sun and a lack of other things. But I also think that that Advent season can be a time for us to also get a little bit of that depression as we look at our failures, our shortcomings, and ask ourselves, what more can we do? I miss my dad. I am very blessed to have both my living parents still, and I understand, like, I'm in my 30s, and I understand that every year going forward is a slow march towards that loss, and I am not ready for that loss, and I hope that I don't have to face that for a very long time. Ooh, an anvil. Look at that. Good find. Good find. Alright, let's go to the hospital now that we got something to pop some guys with. See if we can get some more loot. Oh, hello there. We are ready for you now. We can pop those things with one shot. I did lose my grandpa, though, this year, and that was a process I was not expecting or ready for. So I can't imagine losing a parent. Okay, we are definitely in the danger zone. Where'd that guy go? This thing is destroyed over here. Someone left one alive just to spite us? Really? I find that a little mean. They cleaned this out pretty good. But beggars can't be choosers, so let's see what's left over. Bandages. That's a good find. Well, Christmas is, I love the Christmas lights. I love driving around. But I was just talking to Dex about, like, I watched A Christmas Carol yesterday. Or I guess 2 days ago now. And just, like, watching someone struggle with, like, sin and their own evil and wickedness and overcome it is just so touching. And I know all the Christmas shows are like cliche, but it gets me every time. Seeing people overcome their own wickedness and come to terms with God in the season and helping people, and even if it's fiction, I love to see it. I love Christmas. I love the Christmas time so much. I love the hope, the redemption, everything that comes with it is just absolutely wonderful. It's my favorite time of year, and I love to spread the joy as much as I can. But I'm excited to see what you do with the motorcycle vlog. It's kind of a bad... Well, I don't know if you're in the U.S. or not, but if you're in the U.S., it's kind of a bad time to go riding. You know, I'm in the Pacific Northwest, so it's rain, it's cold, it's horrible riding season. But, you know, if you're like in Arizona or anything, you might have some beautiful clear skies to go riding in. I was gonna be a motorcycle rider. I was gonna ride a motorcycle, and then I got hit by a semi-truck, and I realized if I was on a motorcycle, I would be dead. That would have been it. That would have been the end. And so there went my dream of being a motorcycle rider. I was too scared to get a motorcycle after that because I faced that mortality and I did not like what I saw. So no motorcycles for Waffles, unfortunately. My dad tried to teach me and my brother how to ride motorcycles. We politely declined. Yeah. Yeah. Motorcycles, I get that they're a huge part of American culture. I get that they represent cool, freedom, biker gangs. But the problem isn't me. I know. Okay, here's going to be a little bit of ego, and I know I'm going to sound like a little bit of a jerk for this, but I'm going to say it, and I'm going to mean it. I'm going to mean it. I know that if I got on a motorcycle, I would be completely fine. I know that I can be a safe and smart rider. I know that I can handle myself, and I know how to assess risk and all of that. I have no doubt that I would have no problem riding a motorcycle. The problem is other people, other drivers. I literally was on Reddit just a week ago, and someone was like, well, why is it against the law for us to use our cell phones if we're at a stop sign? We're stopped. It's safe. I don't understand why the government won't let me use my cell phone while I'm stopped at a stop sign. It's all the other people. If I was supreme king of the land, God willing that never happens to me. God never put me in that position, please. If I was supreme king of the land, my first decree would be to remove probably 50 to 70% of the driver's licenses that currently exist in the United States. I wholeheartedly believe that at least half of Americans who are driving have no right to be driving. I truly believe that. I do not believe that they have the right teaching and capacity for properly driving. The problem is America is so big that you have to be able to drive to be able to support yourself. So we've created this horrible system where everyone gets a license because we understand without a license you can't be a productive citizen, and if you can't be a productive citizen you're not paying your taxes, and if you're not paying your taxes then the government hates you. And so that is, yeah, everyone over 75 driver's license retest every 10 years. Yeah, I guess like every 10 years, like you get your driver's license around 16 to 18, right? So 20 is your freebie, 30, do it. 40, do it. Every major birthday milestone after that, you're out there retesting. And here's the thing, like my driver's license test was a joke. When I took my driver's license test, here was the test. You had to pull out of the parking lot. Yep. You had to drive 25 miles per hour, 35 miles per hour, and 45 miles per hour. You had to make 3 right-hand turns, and you had to park in the parking lot. That was it. No highway, no traffic controls, no stoplights, no parallel parking. That was the entirety of the test. Was, can you drive around this city block without hitting anyone? Yes? Okay, here you go. Off you go. You clearly have demonstrated the skills necessary to be a good and safe driver, so get out of here. We had parallel parking and street driving. Yeah, we didn't have to do the parallel parking. Which I was thankful for as a kid, but I also realized as an adult how dumb that was, that basic driving skills weren't checked when we did our driver's test. That's a problem. That's a real problem.
This is operation. Affirmative on the supply drop radar. Got eyes on your flare.
I just saw someone gank someone over there. Let's see if we can scare him off. We didn't actually parallel park. I think they called it maneuverability, which is kind of the same. And here's the other problem. Truck lifts. I understand lifting your vehicle. Lifting your vehicle is another one of those good old American things, right? Putting an obnoxious 8-inch lift on your vehicle is as American as apple pie. I don't want to take that away. However, if you put a lift on your vehicle, you should be required to go to the DMV and get it inspected to ensure, one, that it's safe, two, that the headlights are properly positioned and pointed, and three, that you haven't compromised your ability to see. Someone did a picture and ad campaign showing that a lifted Dodge Ram 350 could fit like 14 school-aged children, could stand up in front of the vehicle, line up in front of it, and you wouldn't be able to see any of those children right in front of your car because the school-aged children were so small and the vehicle was so huge and so lifted. 14 children you would have to run over before you had a chance of seeing them. That is unacceptable. There's no other. That is unacceptable. So we need to fix that. That is another thing that King Charlie would immediately fix. And a petty one. Here's a petty one that I understand, and no way, shape, or form would this ever actually work. I understand that. But you know what? I'm gonna say it anyways because this is my fantasy and I can have whatever I want. I would require grocery stores like Costco to have enforcement. They would have to have a security officer who walks up and down the aisles, who would write tickets to the members, pushing their cart down the aisle the wrong way, people who park their cart in the middle of the aisle not paying attention, people who cause traffic jams, anyone who makes the grocery store a slower, more miserable experience needs to be ticketed so that they are paying more attention at the grocery store. I am so tired of someone walking down the middle of the aisle, talking on their cell phone, not paying attention to anyone else but them, and causing everyone else to have a miserable experience. I'm going to the grocery store today. And you're not excited about it, right? That's the problem. We should be excited. We're going to the grocery store, like... This is one of those, like, we're so spoiled, right? Imagine a medieval peasant being blessed enough to go into the grocery stores we have it today, having fruit and vegetables from all over the world, having chocolates and delicacies from all over the world. And sorry, dude, caught you lacking. And all those options are available. And instead, it becomes a horribly frustrating experience that no one wants to do, no one wants to put up with, because it's horribly frustrating because of the people and the experiences and the costs. Like, the grocery store should be a wonderful, magical thing, and we've turned it into this horrible boring chore of an experience. And I'd like to bring the magic back.
For blue bottles, lab regurgents.
Sorry, well, one more time. I wasn't paying attention. What do you need?
The lab regurgent. I forgot what it's called. Lab regents.
Oh, let me check really
The
quick.
blue bottles and stuff.
This guy's gonna shoot me as soon as I open my inventory.
I just need one. That's alright. I'll trade you some bottles.
Doesn't look like I have any in my inventory. I've got a flute though.
No, you're good. I appreciate it though.
All right, good luck.
Good luck, brother.
I am so shocked that guy did not shoot me for not paying attention. I really thought I was just gonna get down, and I would totally deserve it, right? I blew that other guy away who wasn't paying attention. That would be karma in the fullest.
Don't shoot!
I totally deserve to get blasted in the back for playing like a scumbag. But you know what? That guy was full of delicious loot. So, you know what? We don't feel bad about that because we got what we needed. We needed das Loot, and we got it. And we got the Tarante from that guy, a very, very mean weapon. Delicious weapon. Alright, let's put those back in there. Quick use. We picked up some shield rechargers. Let's repair our shield. We are ready to go ruin some days. When I say it like that, I sound like a jerk. Excuse me. Also, Dex, did you get to see my new toy? Did you see my little Viewmaster? Listen. Is that not the most satisfying click in the world? There is science currently in my Viewmaster. And I found out they make projectors for these, so I'm gonna collect a few Viewmaster cards and show off some pictures. Isn't this the coolest little retro? I was gonna say 90s toy. I know these were super popular in the 90s, but apparently Viewmasters have been around for like ever and a half. I didn't realize the first Viewmaster was made like in 1901? You're vertical and horizontal. What does that mean? Is my stream all messed up? They were super popular in the 50s apparently, but they were made in like 1908. Like, they are way, way older than I thought they would be.
I recently purchased the most popular.
Oh yeah, it does show that I am in vertical and horizontal right now. I wonder why that is showing up currently. That's weird. What's going on? I wonder if it's let's turn that off for a second. Let's see what happens when I do this. or if that just breaks the stream altogether. All right, I changed a setting, so let's see if that breaks anything when I... Now it's better? Did that fix it? I've amassed a whopping 6 views today, so you know the poor other 5 people who joined got a terrible experience, apparently. It's vertical-ish. I don't know. I don't know if it's the Christmas season. I don't know if everyone's just giving up social media for the holiday or what, but like my views are plummeting, both live, long form, short form. I have become the least popular content creator overnight. I don't know. Apparently, people are still talking about that dude shocking his dog. Apparently that is how you get to be a good streamer. And that's something we already knew, right? Like, the bigger the dirtbag you are, the better chance you have of being a popular streamer, because people want their garbage TV, right? People want their low quality, low brow Beavis and Butthead streamers, right? I do wonder now that I say it though, I wonder if someone has done that gimmick for views. You know, call it a social experiment, and you put on like a shock collar and you give Twitch chat the ability to control it. I guarantee that would blow up, right? If you said if you donate $5 or more, you have the power to control this shock collar for like 3 minutes. That person would be rolling in the cash, right? They would become a millionaire overnight. You give kids the power with mommy's credit card to torment someone. Oh, you are SOL, my friend. There's a stream idea for someone if you desperately want to stream and make some money. I think that probably would do it. Alright, let's grab that experience, and then we're gonna go back to the hospital, and we're collecting loot. We've got to make 5 million coins in-game before the expedition, and I don't even have 1 million yet, so we are way behind. Mr. Trollface, have a great week. Thank you. I am going to try and have a great week. Last week, I ended up leaving work early because my house exploded, and I had to pay a bunch of money to a bunch of vendors to come out and fix it. So hopefully this week, you know, I don't even need a good week today. You know what I want this week? I want a boring week. I want a boring week. I want nothing to go wrong. I want no surprises. I just want a boring week where I go to work, I make dinner, I go to bed. Like that's all. No more surprises. No more surprise plumbing. No more loans. No more money. Just a boring week would be nice. That's all I want for Christmas is a boring week where I don't have to take time off from work while my entire house gets repiped. Even if there are surprises, maybe it's for the better. You know, at the end of the day, it's not up to me, right? It's God's will be done. So if that's the surprises that God has in store for me, if he says, you know what, you need to go through a few more hardships, who am I to say no? Who am I to say no to that? So I guess if that's what is necessary, if that is what is needed, if that is what is good, what eventually gets me to heaven, well then, I guess bring it on. Ooh, each one of those is worth a little bit of money, so that's some money in the bank.
Don't shoot!
I hear someone. I am from the Pacific Northwest. It is 5 a.m. where I am at, and I am streaming before work, so I am out here in the rainy Pacific Northwest. I am not from La La Land. That was a horrible movie. I don't know if y'all saw La La Land when everyone was talking about it, right? La La Land was like the Emmy award-winning best movie ever made. That was such a boring movie. Overrated. The next movie apparently I have to watch, though, is Emmy. Emmy said I need to watch the Muppet Christmas Carol. Moonlight. Maybe it was Moonlight, because it was La La Land and Moonlight came out at the same time, right? So maybe I'm thinking of Moonlight. You're right. Maybe I'm thinking of Moonlight. Don't watch movies? I'd say you're not missing out on much, but there are a few really good movies out there. Like The Watchmen. And Saving Private Ryan. I don't know if it's because I grew up, but it all became lame. We were just discussing that earlier this morning. The feeling of depression and the world just kind of being blah and lame, and ways to overcome that. So you are not alone in your struggles of feeling like the world has become lame and boring. I think that is something that a great deal of people are facing right now. And my personal solution to that, and I know that a lot of people don't want to hear it, and I understand it, but I truly believe that a lot of people would be a lot happier with God in their life if they brought religion into their life and lived with that meaning and purpose in their life. That might help a little. It won't solve all the problems, right? I am religious, and I very often struggle with depression, so it can't solve all the problems, but it can help. It's not a struggle, to be honest. It feels a blessing to spill my energy onto things I feel more productive. Women are just for the rich. That is a terrible take. That is a absolutely false statement. That's down the alt-right Joe Rogan, Andrew Tate pipeline sort of take that causes men to fail in our society and get sucked into a cycle of hatred rather than accepting that we need to grow and better ourselves. When I met my now wife, I was making $10.50 an hour. I had no money. I was driving a 1964 Chevy pickup truck that was darn near run down. Answer just this: women or video games? Do you mean, like, would I rather choose women or would I rather choose video games? Well, it depends on the premise of your question. I'm married. I have a wonderful wife. So do you mean, like, am I, like, just women in general, or do you mean my wife? Because I would choose my wife every single time. If you mean other just random women, I want nothing to do with other random women. So I would choose video games every time because I have no need or want. I have my wife. I have no other need for any other women in my life. 26, my dude. I'm gonna say something that's gonna sound really harsh here, and I apologize for sounding harsh. But it might be time to grow up. Ben's here. Good morning, Ben. Maturity is understanding that you don't need that ultimatum. You don't have to choose between women and video games. Like all things in our life, we need to have moderation and understanding. But there's no such ultimatum that you can only have one or the other in your life. There is a time for video games, and there's a time to put video games down. I definitely am guilty of, especially when I was younger, spending too much time on video games and doing wrong and bad, and that is something I have worked to grow a better balance in my life, to make room for Emmy, to make room for God, to make room for other hobbies. Video games are the reason when men are so depressed. That I would agree with. But it's not video games themselves that are the problem. There are too many men who spend all their time on video games. That is definitely a problem, but you can do that with anything, right? You can watch too much TV, you can read too many books, you can spend too much time writing. Moderation is needed. Yes, Trollface, share your opinion. This is a welcome forum for everyone. You are always welcome to share an opinion. So it's not video games that are the problem. It is people in general that are the problem.
Don't shoot!
You can even, I preach a lot of religion, right? You can even spend too much time in religion, right? There are men who neglect their family, their wives, their kids, and other things to the detriment of their family to spend time with God. And you say, well, how can you spend too much time with God? And it's like, well, if you were to give up your work to go to church, if you were to give up family time to go to church, at a certain point, you are spending too much time with God and not enough time with your family. If your vocation is marriage and kids, you owe your wife and kids your time, your knowledge. Your job is to bring them to heaven.
Hey, don't shoot!
And if you're ignoring them to spend time at church, are you really helping them at all?
Back.
I'd have to disagree. The reason men are depressed is because of whatever reason that individual has wrong in their life. Video games are escape from reality. Some people neglect it and abuse it, but video games themselves are not the problem. I would say for the most part, I would agree with that. However, there are people who are addicted to video games, right? You can be addicted to anything. You can be addicted to gambling. You can be addicted to drinking. You can be addicted to smoking. There are people who are fully addicted to video games. And that in that case, the video games are definitely a problem, and maybe it's better for that person to abstain from video games in general if they can't control that addiction. But oftentimes, as Ben said, those addictions are a symptom of something greater, whether that be other parts of depression, unchecked mental illness, something going on in their life, other things like that. They're using video games to cope instead of perhaps healthier or better skills for coping with those things. And I mean, the Trollface is right too. I know a man exactly like that who is miserable and depressed, and so he spends his day smoking weed and playing video games and can't understand why things won't get better because, well, you have to be the one who makes that change, right? If he was to work out and spend some time with God and do those other things, perhaps he could change his situation. But until he changes his situation, things will never get better. It will just be video games, weed, and unhappiness. Alright, back in we go. One more time. You may not have to escape from reality, but I'd have to argue it's a privilege for you to say that. You're not everyone else. Some people need a break from things every now and then, and games are good at that. Games are definitely a good break from reality, but... Oh, excuse me. I would argue that while they are a good break from reality, and sometimes people need a break from reality, we all could do better with getting better skills to get a break from reality, better, healthier coping mechanisms. There's certainly nothing wrong with having a bad day at work and wanting to go play video games for an hour or two, but it also becomes that slippery slope of if that is your only escape and your only tool, you need other tools in your box, right? There are a lot of people who their tools in their toolbox is weed and video games. And the solution is they need more tools in their toolbox, right? They need more ways to cope and healthily understand their problems and how to come at it. That could be therapy, that could be more problem solving, that could be walks in nature, that can be, again, I know I preach it a lot, but that can be religion. There are more tools that exist to deal with those problems other than those tools. And as they say, you know, if the only tool in your toolbox is a hammer, then every problem looks like a nail. If the only way you know how to solve problems in your life is with drugs and video games, that's a problem. You do need other tools in your life.
Warning, over there.
But also, that is a symptom and a problem of society in general, right? Like, people for a long time have always had a community and a support system, right? That if things get tough, they had someone to lean on, someone to help them. And I know that a big problem that Gen Z is running into right now, and Gen Alpha, is that when they go to their friends and they say, hey, friend, I am suffering right now. I'm going through hard times. I'm really struggling with X, Y, and Z. Their friends will say, hey, go to therapy. I don't want to hear about your problems. I don't have a capacity for your problems. So tell it to your therapist, but don't burden me with your problems. And that is a big problem that the next generation is facing, where people are weaponizing therapy, where they're basically like, well, you go get yourself a therapist. I don't want to hear about your problems. I don't want to share in your problems. I don't want to hear about it. Go pay someone to hear about your problems. They have no support system. They have no community. All they have is friends who are there for the good times and not the bad times. And that can be a problem too, right? That can definitely be a problem where someone needs a support system. They need a community, and they don't have that. Ow. Little bugger snuck up on me. Whoa. Oh, okay, we're getting out of here. That's a problem in there. That is a problem up there. We're going away. We are not going to get blasted by all those things. I wouldn't say that's a problem in general. However, I do know the advent of AI and waifus is a problem for some people. Gooning culture is a problem for some. I would definitely agree all those are problems, but not a problem every single person is facing. Do you know how many people video games help, like veterans or people who are mobile? I'd argue video games help more people than they hurt. And that's like when you talk about tools and things like that, right? Like it's not the video games themselves that are a problem, it's how we interact with them. And there are definitely problem ways to interact with it, but the solution isn't to remove video games. The solution is to help the people that are using them improperly, right? Nobody wants to quit the colors on the screen. I have 12 years on Steam, 800 games. I'm not saying I'm new to the topic. Moderation, I think, is the word you're looking for. We could all use a little bit more moderation in our life when it comes to video games, when it comes to TV, when it comes to cell phones, when it comes to basically every aspect of our life. There's no aspect of our life that couldn't be improved with moderation and fasting. And I know I plug fasting a lot, but let me tell you, fasting has changed my life for the better, and I highly recommend it to everyone who is able to. I'm not a doctor. I can't recommend it to everyone. I don't want you to hurt yourself. I don't want you to be in a position where you are harmed from it. But if it is possible for you to fast, fasting is a game changer, 120%. If my computer wasn't a piece of junk, I'd probably have this huge Steam library. Well, Dex, that means it's a perfect time to get the Steam box, right? Time to upgrade to the fancy Steam machine. I hear someone. I hear a problem. I can't talk to beautiful women because I wasted my life playing video games. I don't have a car or a nice house. You don't need all those things. If the only reason why a woman talks to you is because you have a nice car or a nice house, that relationship is doomed from the start. Like, that is not going to end in a happy marriage if she's so shallow that all she cares about is your fancy car and fancy house. That is not the basis for a good relationship.
Don't shoot.
But I will say that
I just need 2 more for the expedition.
yes, definitely work on ourselves, improve ourselves every day. You need those things to have a nice life. They're helpful. They're helpful, but I mean, how many people before cars were invented had a nice life before cars were invented? How many monks and priests exist out there who live a fulfilling and rich life with God without the need for money or cars? Law of attraction. The way you treat yourself, that's what you will attract. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. I go more with, God has a path laid out for us, and we don't know exactly what that path always looks like, but all things in the perfect amount of time. The gym is great. I can't make it to the gym right now. I have been trying calisthenics. My current goal is to work up the strength to be able to do sit-ups and push-ups and pull-ups. So here's the thing. If you're worried about being judged at the gym, work out at home. Like I said, I'm doing calisthenics, jumping jacks, push-ups, all that sort of thing. I'm using it for weight loss, but strengthening my core, strengthening my body. You don't need to go to the gym to work out. Go for a walk. That's how I lost 200 pounds almost, is just walking. Just walking. That's all it took, was fasting and walking. But I will concede, Emmy and I talk about this a great deal. How happy we are that neither of us ever has to date again. That we don't have to be a part of the dating pool. Because I have seen the dating apps. I have seen the dating stories. I've seen the people on Reddit talking about dating. I have seen how absolutely miserable that experience is. So I will concede that the world of dating out there does seem like it kind of sucks, and I'm glad that I do not have to be a part of that.
Don't shoot! Thanks, Raider!
So I'm very glad that I don't have to go into the dating pool, because that is some tough stuff out there.
Don't shoot!
Let's get out of here. Too many people.
Don't shoot!
A nice house and a nice car are literally the base. I don't know. I would disagree with that. I lived in a terrible, terrible apartment in a terrible part of town with my wife, and like I said, I was driving a 1964 broken down Chevy truck. I had a terrible car, a terrible house, but life wasn't so bad. Oh, Bon Jovi said it right. Living on prayer, right? All you need is the right person to endure it through, and the rest of the stuff just doesn't matter. Your backdrop is beautiful. Thank you. I know most streamers, have like the really picture perfect background. My house is too messy for that. I've not cleaned my house well enough to that, so I decided I'll commission a piece of art for my backdrop, rather than trying to organize all the millions of projects that I have. I'm 400 pounds, spent the last 7 years of my life digging myself out of crippling depression, taking care of my dying mother, no kids. I know exactly what you're talking about. I was 17 years old when I got my first apartment, changed like 7 apartments, now I'm 26 and never made a friend. Well, as you talked about, today is the day, right? Start working on yourself. If you can't buy a house, what are you living for? All right, I've said it like 6 times on stream already. I know you're tired of hearing it, but the answer is God. The reason that God made us is to be in a relationship with God, is to find God and to make it to heaven. That is the grand purpose of it all. And I don't think you can be happy without God in your life. That is just truly what I believe at my core of core, my heart of hearts, that you cannot be happy without God in your life. But I also agree with Dex. Buying a house is not realistic for most people. I got incredibly lucky, but also I sacrificed a whole lot of things to buy my house. We bought a house at the right time. There are some days I regret that house, like I said last week when all the pipes burst and I had to pay $7,000 to fix all the pipes. I definitely was having some regrets around the house at that moment, but I'm just saying that there is another side to home ownership, right? Sometimes owning a house sucks when everything goes wrong and you're on the hook for it, right? Last year we had to buy a $25,000 roof and gutter. This year we had to pay $7,000 for new pipes. We had a new washing machine. We had to get a new water heater. Like, renting does have its advantages when you're not on the bill for the big expensive things. Right? That is the one perk to renting, is that when the roof breaks, you just get to call the landlord and say, landlord, fix the roof, and then you get a new roof, all the benefit of it and none of the cost. So that there is a perk to renting sometimes. Oh yeah, I have great credit. I just checked my credit score, in fact, because I had to put together some stuff to change the pipes. So my credit score is currently 780, and that is something I have worked very hard on achieving. But also, it's one of those mixes of, it was a lot of luck, but also a lot of sacrifice to reach that 780 credit score. So. The only true perk to owning a home that I can think of just right off the top of my head is that your rent is going towards equity, and that equity is power in so many ways. Never going to be able to own a home. I think a lot of people are suffering that same frustration. I think a lot of people are realizing that home ownership will never be an option for them. That is a tough thing, right? That is a tough thing, that you're sold this American dream, you're sold this idea of home ownership, and then knowing you'll probably never be able to purchase a house. And like we own our house, but we're experiencing this similar frustration of that we're ready to move out of this house and go into a forever home for our kid. We want to live in a better neighborhood to raise our kid in, but we can't. If we were to sell our house, all the equity we've built in this house would just go towards a down payment to try and make another house affordable, right? We're stuck in this house for better or for worse. We won't escape this house, so a lot of people are frustrated with home ownership right now. Exactly. That is the problem. Is my house has increased in value almost $250,000, but because every other house has increased $250,000 or more, it kind of just washes out, right? Like we haven't actually gained anything because that money would just be eaten by the next house that's also increased in value by an obnoxious amount. It's a vicious circle, unfortunately. It is frustrating. I heard something. I think there's a person around me. What's that Simpsons meme? The Chuckles, I'm in danger? Oh yeah, we're in danger. Let's get out of here. The chat's not over. Yeah, I don't know why the chat's not overlapping. My stream is all messed up. See you next time, Trollface. Have a great day. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the good conversation.
An Ark orbiter is en route. The safe window is closing. 10 minutes to get out of there. I repeat, 10 minutes.
I got time for... I have time for, well, maybe one more match, and then it's time for me to go start work. Go start real work. I did not watch the Star Citizen video. My entire week got eaten up by the pipe crisis that I was facing, unfortunately. My week kind of exploded around Tuesday, and then I just didn't think about anything else. I was stressed about money and pipes and plumbers, and thank goodness that is all behind me now. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go into Stella Mortis, the PvP land, and we are gonna go fight until we gain everything or lose everything. Yes, I did listen to Scarborough Fair. I did listen to that at some point. I do remember enjoying that one. So I try and follow through. I try not to flake out on things. But last week was an exception. Last week was out of my control. The house exploded and the house demanded all of my attention and frustrations as I was suffering through that. Alright, we're in the land of PvP. There are no friends down here. There are but enemies and bullets.
Have your eyes adjusted to the dark yet, Raider? Loot is ripe for the picking while most of Toledo is asleep. Though my suppliers say that
There is but evil and suffering. I will try and make time to go back and watch it as long as I hear people. As long as nothing goes wrong today, I should be back on schedule. I hear someone. They're talking to someone, so I don't know if they've got like a buddy, if they duo it up. I might be better off just hiding and not engaging in them at all. This is Arc Raiders. It is a extraction shooter that came out about a month ago. And we're hiding in a corner like a coward because I hear someone. And I think they've got someone with them. So I'm scared to engage them. It is a shooter.
Don't shoot!
It is an extraction shooter. See if we can find them. Where is this person and who are they talking to? It is not single player. No, it is online only, multiplayer only.
Don't shoot!
Yeah, there's multiple people here. We're in trouble here. Oh no, I clicked the wrong button. Oh, we jumped down into a pit of vipers. So basically your goal is you drop in, you're trying to get a bunch of loot, and you're trying to get out, but all the other players at any time can shoot you and take your loot. So it's like a social deduction. Is the person friendly? Are they not friendly? How much risk do I want to take? How much reward do I want? The game focuses on all of it. And then there's also a PvE element where there are enemies like this guy who can take you out, who are very deadly as well. So you've got to deal with players, you've got to deal with the environment, you've got to deal with your own badness when you slip and hit things or slip and fall. So there are a great deal of obstacles in this game. Okay. I don't know where that guy ran off to. I think he's going to come in up over here, and then I can go down and I can run? Maybe? Because that guy is basically a shotgun that levitates, so you don't want to get in a fight with these guys, because they deal a lot of damage very quickly. Can I jump up there? I'm kind of... I don't think I can jump. I don't think I can make that jump. And if I fall, I am dead for sure. Thank you. Yes, Jesus loves me. Jesus loves everyone. All right, Ben. Have a great day. We'll see you next time. Thanks for hanging out. Come on. This guy's eating bullets left and right. Oh, hello there. Doesn't help when I miss. We're kind of stuck up here. We're stuck. This is where we die. I have no way out other than destroying these guys, and every time I take a shot, I'm alerting enemies to where I'm at to come in here and snipe me. So we're in trouble. We are gonna blast our way out. We're gonna just slowly try and shoot everything, but we're in a bad position. This is not the position you want to be in. That's one. That is one enemy blown to smithereens. I don't even have any grenades. I can't believe this is working. Oh, I see someone. I see someone. I hear someone too.
Don't shoot.
See if I can tell him I'm friendly. Don't shoot me. I'm stuck. Can I shoot through the steps? Is that? I can't. It says I'm damaging it, so maybe I'm sniping through. Maybe it's working. I don't know. That seems like I'm shooting through that little gap. All right, that accuracy, yo. Did you see that? I shot right through. I Hawkeyed that. I wasn't shooting players. I said don't shoot to the guys up there. That was the Ark. Those robots are not players, so you can shoot the robots all you want without feeling guilty. However, it is a completely valid, if not scumbaggy tactic. You can tell somebody not to shoot you, and then you can shoot them in the back. That is a completely valid way to play. It might be scumbaggy. It might be the ultimate jerk move, but it is a completely valid way to play. And I hate to admit, I have done that. I have told somebody not to shoot me, and then when they lowered their guard, stabbed them in the back because I didn't trust them. Because the game is all about trust, right? Like, you can say, don't shoot, and then shoot someone. So when someone says, oh, hey, I'm friendly, the question is, do you trust them? And the answer is not always yes. You know, sometimes you've got to listen to your gut. Sometimes you've got to listen to your initial impressions. And if I get a bad feeling about someone, you know what, I'm going to listen to that bad feeling, and I'm going to remove the threat before it becomes more of a threat, you know? So, I don't like to be a jerk. I don't like to be evil, but I'm not going to get taken out like a chump because I was too trusting, you know? I'm not gonna get stabbed in the back first, right? I'd rather be the one stabbing them in the back rather than be the one being backstabbed. So sometimes you gotta trust your gut on these things. Oh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble here. Okay. We got it. Let's heal up. And hope no one heard that. It's completely valid, right? If the creator of the game didn't want you to be able to do that, they would not allow you to do that, right? They specifically built the game to allow for that function because that is how they intended people to interact with their game, right? Like that is the intended experience for this game, is to have the constant fear of being stabbed in the back. And I've done that also, where I waited for someone to fight, they're fighting a robot, and I'm just watching them, and then once they defeat the robot, they go up to it to loot it, and then kapowie. Very neat. Am I the only one watching? I think Dex might be lurking around, but yeah, usually I'm done streaming by now, so most of my viewers are gone by now. Because this is about the time that I go to do my actual day job, so this is my last match, and then I gotta go to work. Alright, something just blew up, so there's someone else out here. Oh shoot. That's bad. Okay, this is real bad position to be in. I'm not a particularly popular streamer or anything, so you know, it is very often that I stream to just 1 or 2 people. So congratulations, you are it today. You are the person pumping up my stream numbers. Just you. 7K is hard to get. It is. But you know, I don't play by the YouTube rules, you know. I'm not out here making clickbait. I'm not out here doing all the things that I should do. I make the things I want to make and do the things I want to do, and sometimes people join, right? Sometimes people come and hang out. Sometimes I'm talking to myself, like them's the breaks. Sometimes I get lucky, sometimes I don't. However, as I said, that is it for me today. I've got to go to my day job now, so that is all the time I have for today, but I'll be back at it. I stream on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 5 a.m. Pacific time until 6:30-ish Pacific time. So if you want to catch another one, thank you, Blank. Thank you. Opinions on mass deportations. The Catholic Church stands by that a government has the right to create and enforce borders. However, when we create and enforce those borders, we cannot forget that the people on the other side, the people who are immigrating, the people who, even if they're illegally immigrating, are people. At first and foremost, we are to treat them as we treat Christ. So while it's not strictly against the church teaching to do mass deportations, the way that America is going about it does not respect the dignity of our fellow man, and thus I am against our current administration's policies because they have forgotten the dignity of man when they are participating in the things that they participate in. So first and foremost, we should always ask ourselves the cliche of what would Jesus do, and I don't think Jesus would be doing much of anything that the current United States, what do you want to call it, regime, administration is doing. So I think first and foremost we need to make sure we are respecting life, and I do not think we are achieving that goal currently. However, I do not have time to rant on this. As I said, this is the end of my stream. I've got to go to my day job, so thank you everyone for joining me. I will be streaming again on Wednesday morning. If you want more conversation, you are welcome to come hang out with me then. But for now, I must end the stream and get to my regular job. So have a blessed day, everyone. Today is a holy day of obligation. It is the Immaculate Birth. So, think about that today as in your prayers and in your thought that today is a special day, and spend it with the Lord. Thank you all for joining me, and have a blessed day.